everybody, welcome back to the channel. As I mentioned in my last video, I'm going to be doing some parting out. So I got this 88 that had issues with one of the cylinders, had zero compression on it, and so got busy parting that thing out, and a lot of good parts on it. Had a good tilt trim, good foot valve primer, fuel pump, coils, power packs, stator, everything. There's a lot of good parts on it. Perfect lower unit with propeller. And when you get one of these that has thrown a rod or a ring came apart, that's what I believe happened on this one. One of the rings, a piece of the ring let loose, got in there and just tore the top of the piston up and so forth, and scored up the cylinder really bad. When you generally get one of those parts motors that are like that, in that condition, when the power head internals are the problem, a lot of the parts on it are in perfect shape. So that's the way this one turned out to be. I got one more, a white one, Johnson 130, I think it is. 115, I think it is. I've got it out there that I'm going to part out. But I also got a little 35. A fella called me to come pick up today and said he wanted it out of his woodshed. So I went and got that. I'm going to pull the power head and different things like that. So let's get started. Alright, you remember that guy? Maybe not, it's been a while. But really nice lower unit on it. And when you got one, nice tilt trim unit. And when you got one that's got all these good parts, and if you look, there's my compression check. That one was 95. If I can get up on here, 104, 100, and then, and then that. So I'll pull that head just to see, out of curiosity. I always like to do that. But this one will be, hey, my wire brush. Treasures! I'm finding treasures. Yeah, I was looking for that. Anyway, a lot of good parts. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got some pretty major scoring right there. And then the top of the piston is all hammered up and messed up. Let me spin it over to the top. Hopefully you can see that. All along this edge is all chewed up. And not as bad as I thought it'd be, but she still had no compression on that cylinder. And being that she's so salty and everything, I'm just going to part it out. Okay, here's what 88 horsepower looks like when I get done with it, pretty much. The stuff I want. Some of it I've already put out in the parts locker. But starter, solenoid, tilt trim unit, that works. Beautiful carburetors, nice set of good 88 carbs. Being that this engine had piston and cylinder problems, you can almost count on most of this auxiliary stuff being good. There's the coils and spark plugs, fuse connector with fuses. You got the little bell crank shift connector, gas hookup, fuel pump gasket, your plate that goes on the bottom to help you steer. I don't know what they call that thing. Hoses, if they're good and pliable, I'll keep them. Okay, there's the flywheel and the rest of the electronics. All your stator, and got the stator, you got the CDI unit, the wiring harness, flywheel, key. The key stuck to the side of it there on the magnet. Okay, here's kind of what's left. Can't really see it that good. The stuff that I'll scrap the rest of that. I will keep those side brackets with the steering tube and all on the bushings. There's no reason to get rid of them. And then this is a jewel here. The whole lower unit's in really nice shape, including the propeller. That propeller looks really nice. Very, very little nips or anything on it. It's got the reverse plate on it, everything. This is a 1996 88. So these are the parts I'll get off of just one engine. I won't be keeping the latches and stuff like that because I just have so many. I've got a box of them in there, so I just don't need them. So the rest of this I'll take to my local scrap guy there that gives me a little money for the aluminum. He either does that or gives me yard credit so I can get other stuff I need. So I do save the actual lower unit bolts. I try and keep them with the lower unit. So, and then all these little parts, like these little brackets and stuff, I have a big bucket in my box that I put the hoses in my parts locker. But all these little parts, like stuff like the bell crank thing, I have many of these little trays just full of the stuff I keep. Washers. If I part out an engine, and these washers are nice and clean, good stainless steel washers, I keep them. Same with the nuts. I've got boxes of this stuff. Here's another one. Two-sided deal, just full of the little parts that you need, that when you need them, you need them. And I have a section out there for my starters, for my props, for my tilt trims, for my carburetors. I have that all shelved out in my two parts locker connexes out there. So that's what I do when I'm parting them out. I just finished this one. Now I'm going to start on a 35. It just came in here today. The guy, he went at it, and he was trying to put a water pump in it. By the time he got done, the transom bracket was laying on the ground with all the mounts broken. Broke off some bolts, getting the lower unit off. Broke off some everything. So I'll get that one in here and film a little bit of it. Be right back. Got my battery pack. And got a trim unit. And we gonna do some testing. Okay, as you can see, a lot of good parts there, and I've got a lot of loading up to do. I'll take all the remainder of the motors and I take them out to my local scrap yard there, and it generally gives me a little bit of money for the cast aluminum on them and so forth. So, not sure if I'm going to part one or two more out. I think I probably will, and I'll make a video of that and show you at least what caused their demise. So I'm going to keep parting and getting those valuable parts. So thanks for watching. Oh, you might be able to actually see that right there. I'm finna get him. Oh, I got him. So it's Thanksgiving Day, and come here, Plum. Oh no. Now I gotta find it. Well, there it is. This is one of two. My beautiful Alaskan plum. It is Thanksgiving Day. When I popped it off from way up there, it dropped in the grass. Took me about, I don't know, 5 minutes to find it. And then there was one more. It was greener than this one, but I got to go out there and find it yet, but it's getting dark, so. But sometimes in Alaska, patience pays off.